Hey everyone, Guitar Gunner here and welcome to my channel. I have got another video for you here today about the Holosun 507k. Hopefully this is right side up. Yeah, it is. So I've had this sight for a little over a month now. I've put about 1,000 rounds down range with it, and I think I've got a pretty good idea of how I feel about it. And I've got a list of things that I like about it. I actually wrote it down because I couldn't remember them all. And we're going to talk about it. So obviously this is not some goofy unboxing video. It's already been unboxed. I just wanted to kind of show you what you get when you pay 300 bucks for a micro red dot sight. You get a really nice box. I tend to keep these, I don't know why. So the box it comes in is pretty nice. It's a plastic box with a lid on it like this. And it comes with some instructions which you are going to need. It also comes with some factory set screws, a cleaning cloth that you're also going to want to use, and this key, this adjustment key. Now this is for screwing in your set screws if you don't happen to have a small star key, and it's also for adjusting your windage and elevation. Actually, I use this on a lot of different scopes and sights now, so this isn't just useful just for this particular Holosun. You can use this on a lot of different scopes and optics. Alright, so that being said, you also get this awesome silica gel bag which you can use to keep your ammunition nice and dry if you are storing ammo like I do, or a lot of ammo. So, all that being said, let's get that out of the way. So, what are some of the things that are really awesome about this sight? Well, I'm going to just plagiarize the instruction manual because I couldn't remember it all, but there are things that you're going to like anyway. You know, it's obviously ultra compact, super small. It's going to fit on any of your subcompact pistols like your Glock43, your P365, your Smith & Wesson, whatever. I can't remember the exact model number because I've never owned one before. It's also got 3 reticles, which I love. So the default reticle is a 2 MOA red dot, and then the other 2 reticles are really cool. One is a kind of a crosshair circle red dot that has a 32 MOA circle around a 2 MOA red dot, and then these little kind of crosshairs that don't protrude into the circle. And the other one is just a plain 32 MOA circle, which represents at 100 yards, 32-inch wide circle. So, moving on along, it's shake awake. There's no parallax. It has got unlimited eye relief, so that's really cool because when you pull this up to aim, it's already awake, and I'm looking this direction, the gun is pointed this direction, and I can already see the sight in my peripheral vision. So if I'm drawing, this gun is empty by the way, it's got an empty magazine in it. So if I'm drawing from appendix carry, and I'm pulling it up, I've got my eye on the target, I'm already got the reticle in my peripheral. And as I bring it up, boom, as soon as I've got that reticle on the target, I'm ready to shoot. And I love that about this sight. So, keep on moving. CNC milled 7075 aluminum, just like any of your lower receivers that you might own, or any other piece of aluminum for an AR, so it's tough. It also has 12 reticle brightness modes, and for any of you guys or gals that are into night vision, it's got 2 night vision brightness settings as well. So I don't own a PVS 14 or any other sort of night vision device, but if I did, I would find that feature useful. So, for anyone who cares, it's also IP67 certified. That's probably important, but it doesn't matter to me. Moving right along, another cool thing is that with one good lithium battery, you're going to get at the very least 10,000 hours of operation time out of this. Now, I know that's a bold claim, and I'm sure if you left it on at the highest brightness setting all the time, that it wouldn't do that, but that's straight from the manual. That's 10,000 hours at a minimum, and up to 50,000 hours if you use brightness setting number 6, I believe it said, and you also keep, the shake awake function enabled. So potentially up to 50,000 hours of operation time on one good quality lithium battery. That is badass. So, about the sight operation, you've got 2 modes. There's manual mode and lockout mode. Those are pretty self-explanatory. With manual mode, let's turn it here. You can adjust the sight brightness yourself, and that's pretty much it, or also adjust the reticles. So the way you change between the reticles is you hold down the little minus sign for the brightness for 3 seconds, and every 3 seconds it'll cycle between reticles. By default, you're on the 2 MOA red dot. The next setting is the circle red dot target or crosshair thing, and then the third setting is just a 32 MOA circle. What's cool is you can also adjust the sleep time, so it automatically goes to sleep after 10 minutes by default. And you would think that you couldn't adjust that, but you can actually, there's 4 different preset settings. You can do 10 minutes, an hour, 12 hours, or just disable it completely. So I know a lot of guys that like to carry theirs around with the sleep setting disabled, just to, you know, in the brightness all the way up, just to see how long they can run it. A good friend of mine actually does that, so that's something you can do. I like to keep the shake awake function on because first of all, it's got a memory setting, so it memorizes the last brightness setting that you have, and also any sort of movement at all, the lightest amount of movement is going to cause that thing to come on, and it's going to be up and operating before you ever even have it up to your eyes or look through it or anything like that. So finally, a lifetime warranty. It's a limited lifetime warranty, so obviously that's going to come down to your standard limited lifetime warranties from manufacturers, which are like manufacturer defects and whatnot. I do not have any experience with the Holosun warranty department, so if any of you out there do and you have any comments about it, please let me know in the comment section if you've had any experience working with them. Now, I've worked with Athlon's warranty department, and they're awesome. I've gotten whole new scopes that were worth hundreds of dollars more than the one that I sent in. I have yet to deal with Holosun, and I've heard some good things and some bad things about their warranty department. So all that being said, like I said, I put 1,000 rounds at least downrange with this sight. A couple of things to think of when you're using this. If you don't have any experience with red dot sights on your pistol, you're going to want to use some blue Loctite to get it locked down. If you're modifying something like an SAS model, which isn't originally meant to even have an RDS attached to the slide, there's a couple of things to remember. This custom optic slide that you're going to use has got to be, it's got to have Loctite on the screws as well, and you've got to be pretty generous with it. When I first mounted this sight, I used just a little bit of Loctite about halfway up each screw for the optic plate, and after 200 rounds, the sight completely went loose. I did it again, so I took the sight out, I tightened everything down, I put a little bit more Loctite on it, and again, after 200 rounds, everything was loose again, and I lost zero, had to re-zero it. Third time, I put a little bit more generous amount of Loctite. I went about 3/4 up each screw, screwed it in there, and now I've put another 500 to 600 rounds through it, and this thing is super tight. It's not going anywhere, and that's the way, you know, I want it to be. So I've done a lot of range work with it on my home range here. I've done close-in shots at 12 or 10 yards on center mass target and head targets, and then I've done 10, 20, and 50-yard shots on just bringing some steel on some random steel plates that are about 6 to 8 inches wide each. So I'm going to cut to that, and you'll have that video, and then afterwards we'll kind of follow up and talk about it some more. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what I think that most people think the red dot sight is best for, and that's for target acquisition. So we're at about 10 yards, and that's a man or woman or whatever, somebody dangerous wielding a firearm. And I'm going to practice drawing and getting on target center mass and getting as many rounds unloaded into that target as possible. And I don't practice drawing, and I don't practice this enough, so if I do a terrible job, you know, that's me. So I'm actually going to do this in center axis relock position. I've been getting used to that, so I probably won't even do that right either. Let's move my marker out of the way. Here we go. important with the SIG or with any gun that's subcompact, and something that I just noticed. I normally come out here and practice this with a 15 round mag that comes down to here. And I'm using right now a regular 10 round mag with just a pinky extension. This thing was flipping and flying out of my hand. I'm not used to shooting with this small mag. I've learned something just now, which is that if I'm going to be in a self-defense situation, I need to practice more with the mags that I carry with, instead of coming out here and mag dumping on a target with a 15 round mag. I did not hit that target as many times as I wanted to. But now let's try it with the Glock. Turn this. Another note, if you're going to put a mag extension on any of your factory Glock mags, make sure you put a stronger spring in there. It will malfunction frequently. So I've got one here from Rival Arms that has a stronger spring. Actually, no. This one's got a stronger spring. This one's got a weaker spring. I don't know which one does, but anyway, if you put mag extensions on your Glock, get stronger springs because they don't usually come with a stronger spring. And you're just putting more room between the bottom of the mag and in your chamber, which can cause failure to feed, I don't know, mostly failure to feed. So, all right, but that's off topic. So it looks like from what we just did is once I got on target, I was hitting a lot more consistently. I'm gonna show you why. With this grip extension, my pinky is completely enveloped, okay? However, with the SIG P365, the pinky extension, I'm not completely enveloped. So I'm hanging off the side, which there is so much force involved whenever you shoot a 9mm round that pistol is going to kick a lot, unless, you know, even training rounds, even those little 65 grain, 1800 feet per second rounds kick like a mule. And even low FPS rounds like these, these are only 1,000 feet per second rounds, they're still going to kick hard. So no matter what, if you are hanging off the edge like that, you're gonna come off, your pinky's gonna come off, you're gonna lose control. So I was able to maintain control much better because the grip comes down past my pinky. That's super important, super important. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab a different mag for my 365 and we're gonna do the same test. That's a little bit more controllable speed. So slow it down 2 shots per second instead of trying to get 3-4 shots per second in there. Slow yourself down to maybe 2 shots per second, and that way you've got time to come down and reacquire your target. I missed 1 out of 12 shots there. And also I want to show that this is a 12 round mag, fully enveloped my pinky there, so it gives me way more control. I hope you can see that. I'm not used to filming with not used to filming at all, really. So full control, and that was in a center axis relock position that I'm by no means a master of, and I've taken no professional classes on how to effectively use that position. I know that it's a bladed stance, and that you're going to bring the firearm up. You're going to cup your hands like this, and basically you're going to draw, come to here, bring it up, and by the time you bring it up here, both eyes open, you've got your red dot, target acquisition, and that's basically what happens here. So I draw, come to here. By the time I have the gun right here, I can see the red dot in my field of view, but I haven't centered it on target. And then I've got a split second there, and then I just sort of rest for half a second on the target. And while I'm drawing, I don't put my finger on the trigger until I'm ready. So, and that's another thing that a lot of people don't talk about, and I think it's important to cover in these videos. is that with a SIG P365 or a Glock, the most dangerous time for you to have an AD or an ND or accidental discharge or negligent discharge is when you're withdrawing it from your holster, and whenever you're getting on target, you naturally maybe want to have your finger on the trigger already while you're drawing it. No, when you draw, basically you come up here, your finger stays on that trigger the whole time, and until you know that that target's right in front of your dot, then your finger goes into the trigger well and you pull, click. So something to keep in mind. That being said, I think that that's the best usage and the best sort of situation for where red dot for me is going to be important. For other people, it's going to be in competitions, but for me, it's, especially with the Holosun, it's, I have fast target acquisition. Right now, it's not even in my field of view. I'm looking in the opposite direction. But with the gun pointed this way, I can see that red dot in my peripheral. And that's what's great about this, is that I can bring it up, and before I've even aimed at the target, my eyes already have the red dot in view, and then boom, all I have to do is look at the dot. And by the time, if I'm already looking at my target and I bring this up in front of them, my dot's gonna be on that target right then and there, and I can pull the trigger and shoot at that point. And I think that's probably the critical, most awesome thing about any RDS, with this one in particular, because it's got a cross, it's got a circle. I'll show you guys some pictures of it, but it's got a circle with a dot and crosshairs. So it gives you a nice wide kind of field or point of aim, or I don't know what you want to call it, or point of aim, and then to kind of give you a better idea what your point of impact is going to be, instead of just having a little tiny dot there. Now, that's not to knock on any red dot sights that have just a dot. I've got a Burris Fastfire 3 on my Glock 19, and I can take my Glock 19 all the way out to 50 yards and hit 100% shots on these 6 to 8 inch targets, steel targets, all day long. But for this situation, inside of 15 yards, the Holosun 507k is just awesome. So I'm going to try to get some additional footage. Maybe you guys will see some more, maybe not. I might just end it here and we're going to have an epilogue here. And we'll talk about the sight some more. But as you saw from 10, 20, and 30, 10, 20, and then 50, 10 yards, good groups, 20 yards, okay groups, 50 yards, you're just flipping a coin, literally. Unless you're a professional shooter. Now, that's with a gun like this, with a 2-inch barrel. If you've got a heavier firearm like a Glock 19, you can make those 50-yard shots all day long. But if you've just got a little 2-inch barrel, self-defense firearm, then at that point, don't try to make those kind of shots. In fact, I would say even beyond 15 yards, don't try to make those kind of shots. Your safest bet is going to get within 15 yards, even get within 7 yards if you can, and take them out from there. Here's the 7-shot group from roughly 10 yards or 30 feet. I was able to hit the plates pretty good, but I missed a couple. I don't really know why that is. I'm thinking it's because I'm not used to the center axis relock, but I also just re-zeroed this, and I'm not sure if I still have a perfect 0 on it. So I'm probably still pulling. So I'm gonna look at this target again, do a little bit more shooting on my end, examine it, and then use the reference chart that I'll talk about in the video to determine why I'm shooting off center like that. All right, so we're gonna do a distance of 10 yards. I don't know if it looks like it from the camera angle, but it's definitely 10 yards from here to that target. I'm gonna start with the Glock with iron sights, and I'm gonna shoot the target on the right. I'm gonna do 5 shots, and then I'm gonna do 5 shots with the Holosun 507. Then we're gonna cover it up and then move back a little bit further. So here we go. 5 shots with the Glock, right target. Shots. We'll finish out this mag actually. Okay. Y'all can chastise me in the comments if you want, but first few shots I was not wearing my safety glasses. You always want to wear glasses, especially when you are this close to steel. If I were to accidentally come out, hit a piece of steel, then I could get a piece of copper jacket fly back and hit me right in the eye. And man, this sight needs to be cleaned up. It is dirty. Definitely all over the place. I'll see if we can zoom in and you can see where those are at. We'll just walk over to it actually. So they're grouping really well where they are grouping. Here's the Glock shots. That was my first shot. Then I came way down on my second shot, pulled down real bad. And then I started to group a little bit better up here. But all in all, stayed within there, and I'm still honing my pistol shooting skills. Come over here. I mean, it's not that much different. It's pretty much the same group wise. I'm seeing a little bit better group, a little bit more consistency of shot placement here. Notice that there were no real far down shots here, and that's probably just has to do with the difference between the Glock trigger and the 365 trigger. So we'll cover these up and we'll move back even further. And we're gonna get all the way back to 50 yards here. So we'll see how this does. Again, that's Glock, that's P365 with a Holosun. Glock iron sights, P365 Holosun 507k. Okay, so sorry for the glare. We're at 20 yards now. I'm gonna limit it to 5 shots each for sure. I've only got 5 shots loaded, so I can't do any more. So if we get any flyers, we'll just get some flyers and we'll just base the grouping off of, you know, anything that's not a flyer. So again, Glock on the right target and SIG on the left target. Ricochet. That is always something scary to hear when you're on a home range, is ricochet. In fact, that's the scariest sound, I think. Target on the left. Okay, so even from here, you can see Glock on the right at a distance of 20 yards. Your front sight is pretty much covering this entire thing up. And I'm just kind of hoping that I'm in the middle. So progressively got better. This is my first shot, second shot, third shot, and one of these was my fourth or fifth shot. Over here, my first shot is not even on here. I pulled up really bad or down, or I'm not really sure. I'm not seeing what I did. My first two were pretty bad. Obviously pulled up and to the right here, and then I pulled to the right again, but then I started to hone in a little bit, and then boom, we get it right on the, oh, just on the orange. So kind of tied with the first shot, first is off the board, second, third, fourth, fifth, first, second, third, fourth, fifth. So far it doesn't look like there's a huge advantage with the red dot, but don't be deceived, because when you're shooting at this distance, you definitely want a dot, but also you have to keep in mind where your dot is zeroed at, and the distance that you're used to shooting at. The distance I'm used to shooting at is exactly 10 to 15 yards. I usually don't come out to 20 yards. So that's any indication that, you know, if you're gonna shoot at 20 yards, then practice at 20 yards. I'm usually at 15 yards or a little bit over 12 yards, around there in between 10 and 15. So that's that. That's 20 yards, Glock, iron sights, and P365. Now we're gonna get nuts and we're gonna go way out. We're gonna do 50 yards and see what happens. So here we go. I can't give you a good view of the reticle just because of the way the camera works, but we'll try to do some one-handed 40-yard shots here. See how we work out. Anticipating recoil a little bit. See, I'll jerk down like that a little bit. Oh, and she's swinging. And I hit her swinging. Yeehaw. Oh, almost jerked again. Let's go for this target over here. And I'm out. I missed. But you know what? For 40 yards with one hand, I mean, that's pretty good. Now, since we're still filming, see if we can get a quick plink test in between these two. Three shots each, because that's all I got left in here. All right. Well, that's disheartening. Might just have to cut that footage up. Let's see how we do with some faster velocity stuff. out of 3 that I got with the Glock was probably pure luck. Really, at 50 yards, unless you've got your pistol on a bench rest or some other kind of stabilizing device, you're throwing the dice as to whether or not you're going to hit the target, just because any minute movement pulls you off target. And at 50 yards, if you pull a little bit, whereas at 10 yards it might put you, you know, a half an inch off center, it's going to put you clear off the target and even clear of the backstop and into the brush pile behind it. So that's always something to think about. Realistically speaking, you will never be shooting at this distance. And also, I should say that were you to get into some sort of engagement, it would be dangerous to try to shoot at this distance, depending on what the situation was. Let's go and look at... Let's go and look at the groups, though, if we shot any at all. Wow. The battle is among equals here. So that's the shot with the Glock. Obviously was not hitting the target. And then with the SIG, I thought that I would hit at least in the target more than once, but I didn't. I hit far outside of it. So there you go. This was the plate I was aiming at. Here's some bullet tracks here. These are fresh. So I was definitely aiming low. Or sorry, I was not aiming low. My point of impact was low. And there's a few of those there. So hitting low, and I'll be able to maybe find some fully intact freedom seeds over here. Who knows? Wanted to get a little bit of close-up footage here of the Holosun 507k. It's going to be difficult. The reticle's not going to show up properly, but I just wanted you to see the quality of the milled CNC 7075 aluminum on this. The nice canted reticle lens, the battery compartment here, and the windage and elevation knobs. Here's your brightness adjustments. Again, 12 different brightness modes, with 2 of them being night vision compatible. Hold the plus button down for 3 seconds and it locks the system down. Hold it down for 3 seconds again, it unlocks it. Hold it down for 10 seconds and it puts you into sleep time changing mode, and you can change that from 10 minutes to 1 hour to 12 hours. And I like to just have mine on 10 minutes, but I just wanted to be able to, be able to see that. And I don't want to detach it from my firearm because it's too much of a pain in the ass to get it on and off there using that blue Loctite. So there you go. Now, so we're back from the range. We have put over 1,000 rounds through this sight. We have put over 1,000 rounds downrange through this gun using this sight. And I've come to the conclusion that right now, this is my absolute favorite RDS, especially compact speaking. I do own a Burris Fastfire 3 that I have on my Glock that you may have seen in my other videos. However, I don't have any issues with that one except for the fact that it's older and it doesn't have some of the cool features that this has. There's no, the reticle doesn't change. Also, I believe it's a larger dot, maybe 2.5 MOA, 3 MOA. This one is 2 MOA. But some of the best features about this are really come down to its compact size and its unlimited parallax or unlimited, it's unlimited eye relief. And again, I'm just going to talk about how important it is that, and this is an empty firearm. I only have a magazine in here so that I can hold it when I rack the slide, I can get it to hold back here since this is the SAS model, the recessed slide lock. When you draw this from your holster, no matter what position you're in, but for me, I'm appendix drawing, and I'm looking at my target again. My eyes are going to be on the target. I'm going to be drawing this, and it's going to be at such a brightness level that I'm going to see that dot. Let me turn up the brightness a little bit on this one. I'm going to see that dot or that reticle that I've chosen. I can see it right now, and I'm looking at the camera. I'm not even looking at the gun. It's still in my peripheral vision. I love that. So I'm going to see it coming up as I'm looking at my target, and by the time I have the gun locked on the target, I've already acquired the reticle in my field of vision too, and I think that's really important. With other RDSs, other red dot sights, for those of you who are not familiar with the acronym, I have had trouble when I pull it up, especially with a fast draw, getting my getting my point of aim and getting the reticle in my vision. But when I draw this, it's just there. You know, and it also takes practice, you know, so that's something that's important, is you need to practice going from holding it at the chest here, especially if you're doing center axis relock like me, and bringing it up to, you know, to the proper eye relief. So post-range analysis opinions haven't changed. I still love this sight. I think it's one of the best investments I've ever made on a firearm optic or accessory in general. I would definitely recommend purchasing one if you have the funds to do so, especially if you are wanting to go with a compact or EDC setup that involves having an optic. There are other ones out there that I would love to review. However, budget constraints don't allow me to go out and purchase a ton of RDS sights and mount them and unmount them and do tests on them, and time constraints as well. So for me, this is the winner right now. And I know that, you know, it sucks. They're a Chinese company and this stuff is made in China, but what can I say? I mean, this particular optic is badass. And I would definitely recommend purchasing one and telling your friends about it. And hopefully Holosun will see this video and send me free shit. Even though I only have 143 subscribers. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching my video. Again, leave your comments in the comment section. If you disagree, let's have a discussion about it. Let's talk about what you're running, what you've got. I'd like to know how far you take your shots out. Do you take them out to 50 yards with an RDS? Are you competition shooters? Who's out there that's coming across this video? What are you thinking about this sight? What are you thinking you would use it for? How you would benefit from it? I would love to hear from you. Again, thanks for stopping by my channel, and we'll see you again next time.